Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? How are y'all doing? Okay, so let's jump right into it. This is going to be it's a somber video because this is very sad, but we need to talk about it. We need to get into it. So, Love and Marriage Huntsville is failing. And guess who I blame? I blame Carlos King. Yeah, he's one of the producers. Melody is a producer of the show, as well as many other producers. Now, I think Melody may be more of an executive producer versus a producer that works with the talent and so on and so forth. But I blame this show failing on Carlos King. Let me tell you why. The big obvious, I think this should be obvious to everyone. If you notice on this show, more and more, increasingly more, if I can say that correctly, everybody is focused on what Melody is doing and her fan club. Okay, am I right? Can we all agree on that right now at this very moment? That last season, maybe even the season before, but increasingly, and then it's definitely becoming a very evident and mainstay for this season about the millimeters and her fan base. Like, everyone has an issue with the millimeters, her fan base, Melody, but mostly her fan base. Even to the point where there's lawsuits and stuff, major lawsuits going on right now because of, quote, Melody's fan base, which that really ain't the big issue with the show. But let's go ahead and stay on that focus point here. If Carlos King had not been jealous or being jealous and doing jealous acts, he should have instead embraced the millimeters. Let me explain why. One, it's obvious that the millimeters are a big deal. It's obvious. Ain't nobody just trying to pump people up and make them seem like they're bigger than life and they're greater than what they are. It is obvious the millimeters, Melody's fan base, is a big deal. Okay? What he should have done was embrace that and use that to the show's ability. Instead, this is what Carlos King did. Carlos got jealous, became slightly envious, and he assisted others who were on the show that were envious of Melody's success, and especially her support and fan base. People became envious of it. I think even possibly that Carlos became a little threatened. I think he's still threatened, honestly. For real. I think he's threatened by her fan base. And with that, he jumped into action to be like, oh, we ain't about to turn this into the Melody show. Y'all feel where I'm going with this? He jumped in and was like, we not about to turn this into the Melody show. So I'm going to support people who have an issue with her. I'm going to highlight those issues that they have, or even though they may be real silly and stupid, even if they're completely a lie, like the whole thing about, oh, Melody was trying to destroy Letitia and Marcel's marriage when it was actually her ex-husband who brought up the fact that Marcel was out there cheating with 20 different women, verbatim from him. They made that, oh, we have an issue with Melody. Destiny's on the show. She has an issue with Melody because Melody didn't call her to let her keep her kids for her. Or that Melody wasn't at her studio session or something with her. Really? You have an issue with this woman to the point where you laughing behind her back because you think you done seen revenge piece on her? Come on, y'all. Let's talk about it. Let's be real. Let's just get on down into the dirt and the meat and the bones of the situation. Carlos supported people coming after Melody. He supported that. And to the point so much so where he did not allow these people to develop their own storylines outside of focusing on what Melody is doing. And it's to the point now where that's all these people can focus on because they've been given the green light that, yeah, you just focus on that. Don't worry about what people are saying about your marriage. Don't try to address that. Don't try to address lawsuits and things that are coming out. Don't try to address the fact that You don't have certain projects and stuff completed. Like, when are we gonna find out what is actually going on with Tisha Marceau's house that they're building or other projects? We don't get into those things. We brush over and we show them standing in some empty office space and whatnot, or on some big dirt pile, and we just jump right off the subject. Like, are we gonna actually talk about what the heck they're doing? That was like the purpose of the show, that these people were building properties, homes, and buying land and making big waves in Huntsville, Alabama. We don't even talk about that no more. And to the point where everybody's like, oh, I'm so sick of them talking about Melody and Martell. Well, that's Carlos King's fault for not allowing these other people on this show to develop their own storyline. And actually, let's talk about what's going on with them. Like the fact that Maurice basically leaves Kimmy to raise his son, and he taps in and out whenever he feels like it. Or the whole issue with Kimmy being called a side chick, and Maurice's ex-wife is still adamant that that was the case. Let's talk about that. You know, we got all these other storylines that we're not even getting into on this show. We just got, the millimeters and how we about to be suing these people because we don't like what they have to say about us. So, y'all, Carlos King and his envy for Melody is the reason why Love and Marriage Huntsville is failing. It's not the millimeters. If anything, the millimeters were helping and could continue to help this show if Carlos King had not become envious and jealous and actually embraced that fan club and supported that versus trying to work against it, because now it's working against the entire show. Okay? So, y'all, that's... I know there's much more to say to it than that, but to sum it up, it really is the fact that Carlos King should have braced the millimeters and not been envious of his own talent. And that show will be going a lot further. That show will be way more interesting than what it is, because there's so much to give. The characters on that show have a lot to give and offer. But because Carlos became envious of Melody's fan base, he chose to shut down what other people had going and then do this united front against Melody and her fan base. So, y'all, that's all for me. I hope y'all enjoyed this video and my commentary. If you have, please give me a like, and please support this channel and its growth by giving me a subscribe. And I appreciate you all for stopping by, and I will chat with you guys later. Bye-bye for now.